Just call me, I'll be there. It don't matter, just say where. I'll be right by your side, do everything you know, alright. Just stay cool, I'll come through, pray for, encourage, and uplift you. Where my sister wins, I win. Where my sister wins, I win. At the Sisters Cafe.
This segment is brought to you by the best version of me. No apology needed, no permission required. The best version of me is for those who struggle with their loyalty to others versus their obligation to themselves. It is the aftermath of being what everyone else wanted and needed you to be. It is about learning that self-care, self-acceptance, and self-love is your responsibility to yourself. When it is all said and done, when the curtain closes and the fog clears, it will be just you. Doing what's best for you without apology or permission is not selfish, it's necessary. Hey everybody, welcome to this segment of Sisters Cafe. I am super excited that you are here. We have an amazing show for you today, but before we do, be sure to go to the website and subscribe at www.sisterscafeinc.com. That way you don't miss an event, a promotion. Go get that cafe swag. You'll know when the episodes come out, and you'll always know what's going on. Be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel, so that way if you don't get the live, you can still catch the video later on. So we are excited here. I got my friends with me. I'm going to let them introduce themselves for today's topic. We are talking about multiple streams of income. In today's society, is not just something to do to get rich. Today is needed. We got unpredictable economy. We got layoffs. We got all kinds of stuff. People being laid off, not even just one at a time. People, hundreds and thousands of people are being laid off. So we want to make sure that we are okay, because I don't see it getting better anytime soon. So we want to teach you and show you what we know. Again, like I say all the time, I might not know stuff, but I know people who know stuff. So my girls are here. We're going to talk about it, and we're going to get into it. Y'all, welcome to the cafe.
For having us.
Right. So Nakia, would you introduce yourself first?
I sure will. So I am Nakia Neal. I am a licensed financial coach. So I basically help people with their money. I help people with getting together. And so when I say together, people always say things like, I got to get it together only when I do this. That's what I help you do. I help you put the pieces together. But when it comes to your finances, there's so much information out there that people can really get lost and just put their head down in the sand and don't move forward with doing some of the things that they need to do. So I like to take what seems to be confusing and complicated and make it simple and clear to put together a financial plan for you, where I'm acting as the guide. You know, I'm not there just to point and tell you what to do, but I'm guiding you through the steps. I'm helping you with your investments, with your retirement, with your life insurance, with saving for your children, with budgeting. But we've got to go ahead and pivot with the budgeting, okay? But I do in all those areas. And most of my clientele are women. It is normally women between the ages, I would say about 35 to 55, in that age range. And I find that age range, women are like, hey, listen, I've lived like the first half of my life, or the first part of my life for somebody else. I work hard for my money. Where is it? Right? Is it working for me? So I help you put that game plan in place, help keep you accountable, work with you, hold your hand through the process. And we have fun by doing it. And it's no judgment-free zone. Okay. So you can come and don't have to say, I know I should be doing better. No, you don't even have to say that, because I understand. Okay. So that is what I'm here to help with. And I'm just really looking forward to diving in this conversation with you ladies.
All right. Well,
Nashaya.
No, I was going to revert back. Please introduce yourself.
Yes, so I'm a money coach. I actually go by the Play Money Coach because I desire to bring the fun back into money. So very similar to, is it Makia? Is it Makia?
Nike.
Nikea, sorry, Nikea. I also help my clients with managing their money better so they can get into a space where they have that solid foundation, except for I focus more on the foundational money management thing. So the budgeting, the saving, the debt management, the mindset, them really understanding their behaviors and the strategies that's going to help them get to the place where they have that long-term success so they can then start investing and doing insurance and all of that other stuff, like the next level stuff. And I feel like a lot of times people, they want to skip the foundational stuff and then get to the next step. And it's like, wait a minute, you're not even ready for that. Baby steps. So that's truly what I do. Again, I also primarily work with women, but I'm also in the corporate space of corporate financial wellness. And I offer workshops for-profit and nonprofit organizations to really help their clients and employees build a healthier relationship with their money so that they can have that better quality of life that almost all of us desire.
Good. That was a lot.
I already see.
That's why. I mean, you were one of the first people I thought of. I was like, okay, both the Nakia, Nashia. You guys should be friends.
Yes.
Let's talk first. Let's talk first about types of income. Because most people only consider, oh, I got a job, that's income. But there's various types of income. What are some of the types of incomes that are out there that when we say multiple streams of income, what are some of the types that we can add together?
So yeah, it could be, the earned income that we get from our job or our business. It could be passive income. It could be income from our investments. Is there any other income? It could be like alimony or child support or Social Security. Like there's so many different ways to have income coming into the household. And I feel like I covered most of them, but Nakia, you can let me know if I missed any that you can think of.
No, I think you covered them, and I think it just gets into the categories of how that works. Because then,
Right.
When you start thinking of like real estate, okay, that could be passive, pass through entities and different things like that. So you basically covered it. We just have to get into how does that actually work? Like what kind of income?
Right, and I thought that was an important question because people don't understand. Some people do, but a lot of people really don't understand. We talk about things, we say things, but some of us really, really don't understand. Because this is what is meant by don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same concept. Get multiple streams of income. So that way, if you lose your job, you still have this. If you lose that, if the stock market drops, then you still have this. So it's a way to basically, as we would say in the military, to cover your behind. I mean, they don't say it that way. To cover your behind. That's what is taught. Navy all day. Cover your behind. And this is, I guess until I got older, I didn't understand how important it was, even though it's something I was doing. So being a single mom of 3 children, I was constantly, yes, I had to work, but then I had the small business. So I got paperwork, etc. I had that going on even then. But then I was like, okay, well, let me do this or let me do that. But back in the day, we just called it hustling. Mm-hmm. We had to hustle to get done. But that is multiple streams of income. Mm-hmm. And it's necessary because without that, honestly, I don't know that I could have provided my children with what they needed, even though even with what I was doing was a struggle. But what are some of the ways? Let's talk that. What are some of the ways to produce? You talked about your job, but products is one. A lot of people might sell. You see people selling tamales on the street. I like tamales. I'm going to go buy them. You know what I mean? So sometimes we don't want to do certain things because we be like, ain't nobody, you better go make that money. Mm-hmm. But what are some of the ways? What are some of the passive income? Let's talk passive. What are some of the passive income ways to produce money?
I think before we jump right into that, I think explaining, like getting people a really better, clearer definition, if you will, or understanding of it. So like with active income, it's like you're working for your money. You know, it's like I'm working, I'm showing up somewhere, I'm doing something, I'm in the grind, getting paid for that active income. You're actively working for it, right? And when we hear passive income, a lot of times on social media, especially, it's like the buzzwords. It's like, what does that mean? So when you think about passive income, it's work that you did up front that's going to continue to pay you later on. So it's like that. I'm sleeping, I wake up getting a check. Type of
Ooh, I love it. I love it.
Just in the realm of what I do, investments is passive income, right? It is, I worked hard for my money. I put it, let's say, into a Roth IRA, and now that is growing and I'm getting interest, you know, returns or whatnot. So that is money that's making money for you that you're not actively having to work for, right? Then you mentioned, you said like selling products. So that's still like active as a multiple stream because it's not something that that does depend on your job. So it's something that you can depend on. So it's like, hey, I don't have to worry about if my job said, hey, we're cutting you or we're cutting back your hours. You can have someone who's really good at baking and they bake cakes and they sell their cakes on the weekend. That's something that you can control. So that's still active, but it's something actively that you can control. So I'm gonna go ahead and defer to Nashia. I'm not going to take it all up. So go ahead. What's some of the things that you would give to people?
Yeah, I love that. And you also mentioned earlier real estate. So, you know, if you're someone who owns property, you know, you have renters, they're paying you rent every single month. That's passive income. As Nakaya said, you do the work up front. You purchase the building, you get it remodeled and do all that stuff. But yet you're going to constantly be getting a rent payment every single month as long as you have a tenant in there. Also thinking like to the business world, and there's a lot of people with like e-commerce stores or digital products or things like that. You set that up one time and you just let it work. You just got to make sure you have the marketing so that it sells, you know. So depending on where that person is in that process, they may be actively marketing or they may be in a position where they can hire someone to do that for them. And that's when it truly becomes passive because they're completely hands off and just letting it do its thing. Yeah, so like those things, you know, thinking about like some other things that I've recently inquired in, like vending machines and jukeboxes and things like that. You know, you purchase that thing, you set it, and then you almost kind of forget it, but not really, but you let it make the money for you and you just collect those payments and make sure your machine is working and things like that. So I feel like if people can get into a space where they have both active and passive income, it really is like the best setup because, you know, we already are busy people, we're tired, like, you know, no one really wants to have to run a business and work a job. But if we got to do it, we got to do it. But if you can get to a space where you have that passive income working for you while you also may be doing active stuff to gain earned income, then that's like a perfect combination.
Yeah, I'd also like to add to that. I think about Robert Kiyosaki with the cash flow quadrant, right? So when we think about the cash flow quadrant, you have the employee, then it's the self-employed, there's the business owner, and the investor. So the business owner and investor, that's the side of passive income. So that's the side of freedom. So if you really truly want to be free, having that side of the cash, being on that side of the cash flow quadrant is important. And I think a lot of times there's a lot of, especially after the pandemic, a lot of people starting businesses at home themselves in that self-employed space. But when you're self-employed, you're not technically like a real business owner yet, right? Because if you go down, let's say if you get sick and you're out of work for weeks, you don't have any money coming in. So you have a lot more freedom as a self-employed person. But once you cross over to that other side where you are a business owner, where you own a system, right? Maybe it's a franchise or different things like that. You have others that are working, that are clocking in. You don't have to be there for that to continue to run, for you to actually get paid passively. So I think it is the transition that needs to be made in understanding like, okay, yes, I'm in business for myself, but the goal is to be in business where my business can continue on without me. then now I can actually leave that business and have legacy and all of those things. Network marketing is another way that people can be in business for themselves that they don't understand. And I think sometimes network marketing can get a bad rap depending on who brought the opportunity to you or whatnot. But with network marketing, it's a low cost for you to start, for you to get in, for you to get trained and mentored. And depending on the business that it is, it can be very lucrative, and that's not the same as like multi-level scammy pyramid. Is totally different than that, just being with a legit company that actually has a legit product that you don't have to internally consume. That makes it a legit business, as opposed to the others that you're only going to win if you buy all this product and now you have to consume it or sell it. Like that, stay away from that. Okay. But there are some other good opportunities out there for people to gain and have more income outside of what they have just from their job.
Can you break down network marketing for people who are listening? Because I think we also lack ideas as a people. We'll sit down, and if it's not beauty, health, or something, then we don't go outside the box. You see what I'm saying? People are thinking this is the only thing, but there are so many things people are doing for extra income, or income in general, because there's things that we are not even looking at, which is why it's 100% a good idea to be in a network such as Sisters Cafe or things like that, because then you get to hear things and know things that you don't know from your circle. I say all the time, check your squad, because 100% you are the 5 people you spend the most time with. If this is where you are and this is where you stay, you're not going to go here, especially if everybody around you is doing the same thing or less. So it's a very good idea to hook up. I say hook up. It's a very good idea to get in contact and stay with people that you want to be like, or you're trying to be like, or there are already places you're going. But can you explain what network marketing is?
So with network marketing, it's just a form of like marketing. So when you think about direct marketing, that is like direct sales, right? Direct contact. With network marketing, you're actually starting in the network of people that you know. So it is let's say I know both of you, obviously, and I'm asking you, hey, listen, I want you to take a look at my business. This is what I'm doing right now. And when you're in business, you network anyway. I think it's the terminology of network marketing and people not having a clear understanding of how it works. So if you were, let's say that you started your own business, and like you said, hair, I'm gonna use that as an example, because at one point in time, everybody was selling hair, right? So and there's no shade to it. Hey, if you thought it was a good idea,
if I can find me a few thousand bundles, I'm gonna start selling it.
Right. Right. So let's say that you are you sell hair. Well, if you sell hair, the first people that you usually start with are the people that you know. You're going to look like who actually buys hair that will be interested in it. Hey, you know what? And then you're going to ask that person, hey, listen, if any of your girlfriends are looking for X, Y, and Z, please let them know that I do this, right? So with network marketing, it's just something as simple as starting with the network of people that you know, and then growing your business from there.
Okay. We need a refill. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsors. Week 3 tip, change your environment. So that doesn't necessarily always mean where you live, but it does really mean where you go, who you hang out with, what you subscribe to. I talk about that. If you haven't checked out the podcast, please go check out the podcast. But in there, we talk about what you subscribe to. And one of those things was on Facebook. We scroll. We spend a lot of time on social media. So the best thing to do is to subscribe to the things you want to be. So if you want to be a realtor, if you want to be a notary, if you want to be a business owner, if you want to be an author, subscribe to those things. So that way, while you're scrolling all day long, as we do, You're seeing the things that you are preparing yourself to be. Subscribe to where you want to go. I'll say that again. Subscribe to where you want to go, where you want to be, who you want to be around. If you have some people that are influences to you, people that you admire, follow them. Follow them. See what they do. The other thing that helped me was subscribing to people who were 100% always talking about business or Jesus or praise reports and positivity and affirmations. And you just scroll down and all day you see affirmations. You can't help but jump on that. You see what I'm saying? You can't help but jump into it if that's what you're seeing every day. So yeah, I want to see the positive quotes. I want to see people who were here before, but now they're here now because they worked on being the best version of themselves. You see what I'm saying? So change your environment. You might have to get rid of some of them friends. Don't be mad, just do it. You might have to get rid of some of the people you hang with. That's friends, that's family, that's the people at your job, the people at your church, people at the doctor's office. I don't really care. You're going to have to change who you hang around with. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. You have to change. Be around people. I promise you that conversation is different. You ever sit at the table or you sit around people and all they do is talk about folks and I can't and I won't and I ain't and I won't? It's different. The conversation is so different when you're around people who aspire to be different, aspire to be great, aspire to be more used by God. The conversation is so different. You will be like, phew. You leave uplifted versus drained. You ever leave certain people and you're just drained after that and you don't even know why? That's why they are draining the life out of you. You bye for that. Bye for that. Your job is to protect you and your energy and where your focus goes and what your heart is. And be careful. We say it all the time. We grew up talking about it. Be careful what goes into your eyes. Be careful what you see. Be careful what you hear, right? Be careful what you allow. Be careful what you say. Be careful, be careful, be careful. But subscribe to where you want to go. You're going to have to change your environment. You might not can't go. I know I said might not can't. You might can't go certain places anymore. You might not want to go hang out with this one or hang out. Change your environment. Go hang out with people who are doing what you want to do. Go hang out with the people who you aspire to be like. Do that. So that is week 3, tip 3. Change your environment. I'll see you again next week for another tip on how to be the best version of yourself. Remember to like the page, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and always check us out at www.sisterscafeinc.com. See you next week. But yeah, speaking of that industry, I was in the beauty supply store, and I watched somebody roll up in a car that was like completely pulled apart, and they had like tires hanging off or whatever. They came out, they had on some flip-flops and a bonnet, and they just purchased $400 hair. And I was like, I'm in the wrong industry. They coming to get that hair, whether they rinse pay, they coming to get the hair or the beauty. And I'm like, that's something that when I get it together, that's something I really want to look at, because it don't get old. It don't go to. People always want to look a certain way, regardless of what they got going on at home. They'll spend, thousands of dollars on their face and body and then go home with their mama. So that's what's most important. And is that, I don't know if that's bad or good, but it works. So, hey, I'm in the wrong industry, first of all. Clearly the wrong industry. But I think people need to understand that they can. So this is my next question to the both of you. What would you tell somebody who feels though, A, they don't have time, or it's something they can't do, or that's too much to learn? I've heard a lot of people say, well, I have a job, I don't have time to do this. But then you got somebody on the flip side, look, as soon as, and that's how I was in Primerica. as soon. I clock out at 6:30. My first appointment is at 6:45 on Zoom. And we do that up until 11:30, 11:45 at night, just enough for me to grab some food because I didn't eat, get to sleep, wake up, and do it all over again. So to me, I feel like if you want it, you go get it. But what would you tell the people that feel like they cannot do this?
Just like you stated, if you want it, you're going to get it. Because they'll find time to do everything else. Watch Netflix. Like you said, go to the hair store and get their hair done, sit 6 hours in the chair to get their hair braided, right, or their sewing put in or whatever, right? And it doesn't, and this is not to stereotype or whatever, but we all find time for the things that are important to us.
Right.
And it's just as simple as that. Even the people who say, oh, well, my kids, and they just, sometimes we have to make sacrifices for the things that we desire to have. And, that doesn't mean that you're a bad parent because maybe you didn't make that one football game or that one cheerleading practice. Like, we have to really find, there's never going to be 100, a perfect balance. But there's going to be times where you're going to miss things so that you can take that Zoom call so that you can make that $1,500 or whatever it is that you're charging for your services or whatever you're doing. So I think, people need to identify what's important to them, why they want it, and then what is it going to take to get there? And what are they willing to do to get that thing that they say that they want? Because it's easy to say, oh, yeah, I want this $1 million house and whatever. But, what do you have to do to get there? Because if you don't have it now, obviously you either need to get uncomfortable and do some things that maybe, you're a little afraid of doing or, change some things up because it's not going to happen just doing the same thing over and over and over if you don't already have it.
It's insanity. That's what that is. Insanity. Mm-hmm. Same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. That's one thing I say all the time is what you said. When you want it, people make time for what they want. That's why I say when people say, well, I don't have time for this, or even in relationships where, oh, I'm busy. Please. I've seen it both ways. I've seen this one move mountains to make sure he gets to me. I've seen this one who can't even make a phone call or send an emoji in a text. You ain't that busy. And I had to learn that the hard way. But yeah, bottom line, people do what they want to do. I hear people say they can't travel or they can't do this. And I'm like, no, you can do what you want. And don't get me wrong. I'm not saying we can't go to Dubai right this year, but give me 2 years. You know what I mean? I feel like we don't put in the effort. I used to take the kids on vacation once a year on points. I'm getting my points. I don't care if I have to pass 3 gas stations. I'm going to the one I get points at. I don't care if the hotel costs more this time. I'm going to the one I get points at. Because, movies. I love movie points. Oh my God. You know how awesome it is to walk up and be like, I don't have to pay for it. I just go in. It's a good feeling. But you have to work up to it. But there's a way to do what you want to do. Mm-hmm. I would take the kids on points, and that's after asking other people their points. Grandma used to have points, and I'd be like, Grandma, can I get your points? Mm-hmm. I had her points with my points, and then me and the kids get to stay in the hotel for a whole week. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Without having to pay. And people, well, you went on vacation. Yeah, I saved up points for that. Mm-hmm. I saved up points for that restaurant, or to get 10 cents off my gas, or to get $3 off my grocery bill. And couponing. I am super coupon girl. Well, I used to be anyway. I love it. Extreme couponing was the best thing since sliced cheese. I found it. They had made me part-time at one point. That was a $10,000 pay cut. And I'm like, I remember thinking, I can't pay my bills with the full paycheck. What am I supposed to do now? And I remember I was watching, it was a commercial of extreme couponing. And I used to, all this time, I'm like, that's fake. There's no way in the world she got $300, $400, $500 worth of groceries for $26.99. But it's real. Mm-hmm. Now, it takes a long time, but it's 100% real. And even now, you would think I wouldn't use a coupon. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Anything I can get for a lesser price, I'm going to go to get it. Because where I save here, I can put it away. I can do something with it. I can stack it up. I can go to Dubai, if I stop spending so much money on groceries. So there is a way to do what you need to do. And I would like you guys to basically appeal to the younger generation. I kind of learned about money way later. And it was almost like, I don't want to say it's too late. I hate to say it like that. But when I started, seriously, just putting $20 away when I was 18, every paycheck, I wouldn't have had the problems I did. But no, I didn't do that. Then I was like, oh, I'll do it when the kids, while the kids, I felt like I couldn't do that. And then, so now here I am 47 trying to put $20 away. That's not going to do nothing. You know what I mean? So if you guys could appeal right now to somebody who's younger and listening, what would you tell them about money?
I would say it starts with the value and the mindset too. So that's kind of even with the last question that you asked about for people who are saying, well, I can't do it. I don't have the time, all of those things. It's what you value. It's like, but do you have time to be broke? It's what are you feeding behind? Yeah, and you said, what type of people are you around? Who are you surrounding yourself with? If you find yourself that you're on an island, I'm the only one who thinks like this, who want more, you can go to networking events. You can do different things to get yourself around different people. So when it comes to money, we don't understand like compound interest. So when we think about if you can understand how the $20 that you put away, right, instead of spending it in Chick-fil-A for just this one time, what that do for you, then it's a difference. But I know when I was younger, I was only looking at the next weekend. I was looking at where are we hanging out, what happy hours it was. I didn't have any children, coming out of college, like all of those things. So I didn't have anybody to talk to me about money in a sense of the power that it actually has in your life. I come from a family who are spenders. Like we know how to spend. Okay. You give us some money, we're going to spend it well. That's
immediately.
Right. And that's what I came up with, immediate gratification. But if you're younger, if you could just take the time to think about the life that you want and know that you can create the life that you want by design, right? By your design with God, right? When you're intentional about the moves that you're going to make, that's what's going to give you the results. So you may think like $20 is nothing, but see how that can compound out just by putting it away and how much you'll have, like kind of to set it and forget it. So that pay yourself first. So if you think about this, let's say you get paid $1,000.
Okay.
$1,000, you take 10%. So you're taking $100. You have $900 left to still blow and go as you may want, but now you put that $100 away. And when it comes to, I wish I could draw it out. I'm such a visual and I'm always drawing stuff. But with compounded interest, that money that you put away, that $100, now that $100 is going to work for you, right? So now it's going to get some more money. And now let's say it got $10 more. Then you have $110 that's going to work for you. And now let's get added on 20 more. Now you have $130 that's going to work for you. Whereas if you spent that money on Chick-fil-A, that money is gone. And it's going out of your body too. So I
was gonna say, and you boo-booed it out. So
you just spent that. So I really do think that there are so many resources now. And please don't get all your information just from watching a social media clip. Because it sounds good. Because the sales techniques for social media are I'm gonna give you the secrets of the wealthy that they don't know, they don't know about. This is what the wealthy did to make their money. No, understand this. There's a difference in what you do with your money when you're on the way up, as opposed to when you acquire it and accumulate it when you're there, right? So you're not making the same moves that somebody who has $1 million right now. You're not doing it's some of the same principles. Don't get me wrong, but some of the same vehicles are not the same. You don't have to worry about tax brackets and things like that because of where you are, right? You don't have to. So for you to overpay for products that supposedly guarantees you the opportunity to put X amount of dollars away and now I'm gonna have all of this money to invest in real estate. You have to think about it as a business. Why would they do that? Like, why would a business, you just put a little bit of money in, they're going to give you all this money and then you could take, like, just if you just simply just Just break it down. So my advice to young people is do your due diligence and read something, follow a podcast of someone who has the experience and the credentials, and then don't just take it and say at face value. You take it and then you go and look yourself, because everybody, we got phones right here. We can actually go and get the real information and see what that is, and know that it's not as complicated as you think. You can learn this. You learned everything else in your life. You went to school, you learned algebra, calculus, whatever. You can learn money. That would be my
favorite. 100%.
Yeah. And to piggyback off of something that you both said. So you talked about how like your family are spenders, right? And then Gladys talked about community and network. I think you also mentioned community and network. I feel like it's important for young people to get around people who are actually managing their money well and doing those, investing and saving and things like that, because a lot of us, we grew up in environments where no one's talking about money, like at all, or all we see is spending, or all we see is, oh, I got to get the newest this, or I got to do that. And it's not in alignment with, as you said, our values or the things that we truly desire, or we have no clear understanding of what we actually want. So I have found that being in community or spaces with other people who are also serious about their money, that is a game changer, because now if you're not doing anything good with your money, now you're the outsider and you're looking like, well, man, I want to save, I want to budget, I want to be debt free, and I don't want to live like this anymore. So I think proximity and community is very important, especially if someone is looking to do something that is outside of the norm of what maybe where they grew up. And I feel like, as a young person, it's easy to tell them that, but if they're not around people doing it, it's hard for them to actually implement and make those changes, because, they want to hang out with their friends and do what everyone else is doing. And, so I get it. I think we've all been there, but if we can stop them from making all the mistakes that I'm sure we've all made, we would have a lot more wealthy children who are in a different financial space than what we were.
Well, so back to the next question. Not the next question. The last question is, do we have any advice for people who think it's just too hard to do both, to work and build a business? Or I hear it a lot, especially with moms or parents. I can't save money. I hear that a lot. I am unable to save money.
Well, there's a lot of questions.
What do you pick one? You can pick one.
The first thing so there's a couple of things that come to mind. Can you not save because you truly do not have enough income to save? Like, are you literally living paycheck to paycheck? Been there, right? Like, there's $10 left over. I'm praying that nothing happens from now until I get paid again, because all I have is $10 left over, right? And no balance on my credit card. So yeah, sometimes they are in a position where they can't save, like there's just nothing to save. But then there's also, I can't save because I'm a spender, or I can't save because every time I save, something happens, or there's an emergency, which as
that happens.
Yes, Nakia has mentioned, it's mindset, And do you want to change that narrative? Because a lot of times we're telling ourselves things, I'm a spender, so that's just how I am. No, you don't have to be if you don't want to be, so it's a choice. But yeah, those are my two questions that would come up as to, why can't you save? Let's really get to the root of the why.
And some people, helpful things, helpful budgeting tips on saving is the things that we do spend it on. We don't feel like couponing, but that could be a way to save. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So I think subscriptions that we, do you have to have the iPhone?
Mm-hmm.
I do. Yes, I do. Yeah. Yes, ma'am. Let's go cut the budget somewhere else, because it's so easy for me to use this, and I'm not even like masterful with it. It just connects to the MacBook and makes my life easier, and I don't want to learn how to do it.
But that's your priority, though. So you, like you said, you cut it somewhere else.
Right.
But just things like that, where one thing I was doing only because I was always busy, always on the run. I go grocery shopping in preparation of cooking, but I'm always on the run, so I keep eating out.
Mm.
And then when I have to realize, wait, where's my money going? You buying food and you going out. You can't do both.
No,
But these subscriptions too, though. It's watching TV more when we can watch stuff on our phones. Why not just get the Roku channel and call it a day? Do we need HBO and Disney and you know what I mean? So there's ways, is what I'm saying. There's 100% ways to cut things out. And then for those who don't like to pay their bills, them bank fees is killing you.
Mm-hmm.
Like credit card fees, bank fees, all these fees. That's the whole card payment every month.
It really comes down to a decision. Like, what do you really want? Like, are you tired of being sick and tired? Like, because that's what it comes down to. We get to a point when we really make changes in our life when we like, enough is enough is enough. Like, I am tired. I have to make some sacrifices right now. It's not going to be sunshine and rainbows at the beginning, right? When you're making those shifts, it is challenging. It is you challenging the habits that you've built up all of these years and putting in new habits and practice. And you've been telling your kids yes for all the BS crazy stuff that they want, where now you have to say no. And it really is organizing your time. Like as women who, you work, you have a business, you have children, you have all these things. And we are like that centerpiece, right? Everything in the household and like runs through you. Right. So if you are poor at organizing your time, that's when the overwhelm comes. Because I'm saying it from experience of someone who's like, I'm actively working on organizing my time and giving myself grace when I don't. Like, that's one thing I think we need to do is give ourselves grace. Like, you're going to fail forward in this season of changing your finances around. Budgets don't work. Spending plans, right? That's what I like to call them, spending plans. That's what it is. Budget, people think I'm on punishment forever, and you're not, right? It's having discipline. It's
feel kind of like a punishment.
Oh, I'm on a budget. I can't even have no ice cream. Like, no, that's not it, right? So, it is organizing your time, and it is for a season. It is for a season for you to change your habits. It is for a season of you working with, a coach like Nashia, who's going to help you through the process and hold you accountable for your choices. And it is the organization. So if you can think, okay, on Sunday, I know this is my, self-care Sundays, soft serve. I know that, women, I know. And it's like, I don't want, but being a good steward of your finances is self-care, because it's reducing your stress and anxiety and all those things, right? So if you take time on Sunday to plan for the week of what you're going to eat for the week for your family, and then you shop accordingly. One of the things that I did, and I just came upon this, and I was like, oh, this is a gold mine for me. I look and see, okay, what's on sale, right? Because a lot of times we go to the market, we're putting stuff in our cart because it's on sale. How many barbecue sauces do you need? You already got 4 at home. But, oh, this one's $2.99 and it's hickory. I don't have hickory. What am I talking about?
It's on sale.
But if you sit and you think, what am I making for the week? Okay, what do I already have in my refrigerator, my pantry? What don't I have? Okay, I made the list. This is what I don't have. Now I'm going online. Like for me, I'm going on HEB. And what do I need from HEB? What things may be on sale? Now I'm ordering it and it's going into the cart. So I'm not going into the market. So now that's going to stop from some of that, shopping that I see. Shrimp.
Oh, that just jumped in my cart.
Right. We want to eat crab legs this week so that helps. And then you have some of the people, I'm gonna say this because my mom, we were talking about this. She's like, well, I don't want them picking out my produce. Okay, you put everything else in the cart but your produce. Right. Then you go in and all you have to do is get several things for produce. All you're doing is going to the produce section and rate the register. And you can get
going everywhere.
Yourself. You don't need anything else because everything else that you just picked up was online and they're about to bring it to your car.
Right.
So that really does help organizing your time. You can do it. But if you organize your time, you'll see you do have more time for things that you don't think that you do because you're not running around with your pants on fire all the time.
Right.
Because it's a journey. I have a digital planner and a paper planner.
Oh, 100%. 100%. But we have to, as far as time management, that's a big one for me because I'm ABC. This is what I'm doing at 1. This is what I'm doing at 2. This is what I'm doing at 3. And it's funny because my mom said that's a problem. Because if you change that around for me, I'm lost. I'm like completely lost. So mine is more of a have to thing. I have to, and I have to number it 1, 2, 3. But one thing I did to save money is you get paid. Most people get paid every 2 weeks. Instead of dropping everything in my basket as I used to, well, let me get this just in case. Let me get this just in case. And then I didn't know for years that the little kid was throwing stuff in my basket. So I would just, because I wasn't paying attention. But what I start to do now, do I need this in this 2 weeks? It doesn't have anything to do with these 2 weeks. If not, put it back. And then when I get to the checkout stand, I'm the one that puts stuff right back up there because I'll be putting stuff on the cart, on the, what is it called? A belt?
Conveyor belt. Mm-hmm.
I don't really need that. I'll put it right back right there. I'll put it up there where the gum is. Because that was how I started now I shop online because I have not learned to not throw things in my cart. We were just in Sam's the other day and we went in for 4 items and I was like, oh, well, we should get this just in case. And my husband was like, let's go to checkout now.
I know.
But what about, I'm almost out of minced garlic. He was like, you got like a half a bottle. We'll come, next week or next paycheck or whatever like that. But to me, I'm like, but we're here. You know what I mean? I'm not a shopper. Y'all call me weird, but I do not like to shop. I just don't. I don't want to go in the store. If I didn't have to go, I wouldn't. If I didn't have to grocery shop, I wouldn't.
Yeah,
I just wouldn't.
I don't like it either.
I don't like it. So for me, it's not something I'm coming back to do in 2 weeks. No, I'll see you in a month or so. So for me, when I'm in there, let me get everything I need so I don't have to come back and do this again.
But if you do it online and you just pull up in the parking spot and you text them and they come right out and you pop your trunk open and there you go.
But then as soon as I get the stuff in the house, I'm like, oh, I should have got this. Oh, I should have got this. So now I'm back online because that's what I do. Hey, bring it to the door. That's why we pay for free delivery. Bring it on right here so I ain't even got to get out the house. But that was me trying to discipline myself as well. Because you're right. If I do it online, it's not a whole bunch of cute things that's jumping in. Okay, good example. Yesterday at Sam's, we got washing powder, Lysol, all that. And then I saw some pajamas that Harmony might need. So dropped them in. For what? I just bought her pajamas 2 weeks ago. She ain't grew. You know what I mean? But they were super cute. And they were on
like my mom right now. I need some pajamas. She don't need pajamas, I'll put them back.
But they do. Because little girls need cute pajamas.
You sound like my mom. No, I wash clothes. She gonna wear these
right
now because next year she ain't gonna fit them anyway. So
I now know it's 100% a grandparent thing because I would tell my mom they don't need nothing else. They go wash it.
We'll cut the feet out. These are too tight. Let's cut the feet out.
Cut the feet out. That's it. That's why they walk around in high water pants and stuff. They boys. They ain't gonna do them but make them dirty. But no, I get it. But I do wish. So any young people listening, I wish I would have known this back then. Mm-hmm. I learned things through failure. It was times where I'm like, okay, y'all, we going about that. I'm laughing because myself, I made rice with everything, even hamburger helper. We get 1 box of hamburger helper and we're going to put a little bit on top of the bed of rice. We got feed 4 people. And that's what I did. It worked. I still eat it with rice now because it's good. But one time my oldest son, he was like, Mom, are we going to eat rice with everything? And back then I was mad because I'm like, do you understand that I'm just trying to make sure you fed? Right. If you don't have rice with everything, you're gonna be hungry. Right. He didn't understand it. He understands it now. But if I laughed at it years later because I'm like, I guess I was putting rice with everything, even breakfast. It's rice and eggs. I love me some rice and eggs, but yeah, everything got rice, everything. So, but that was my way of budgeting and saving, and not only that, just making sure that it is no horrible more feeling than not being able to feed your kids or them not be full. You know what I mean? It's hard to look at, even if I fed them, but I didn't eat anything. It's just hard to look at when they say, Mommy, can I have more? And I have to say, no, we're going to save this for tomorrow, or Mommy needs this for lunch tomorrow, or whatever it is. So yeah, rice, potatoes, bread, whatever. Here, have it. Now they looking like, they okay, they some cute Brutuses. But they wasn't hungry. They wasn't hungry. And I learned how to take care of them on one income. So when I got older and they were grown and I didn't have that, then there's no reason for me to be struggling. There's no reason. So now I can do that whole, I'm going to eat tuna for this week because all this money going to pay this debt. When I tell you debt free, that should be some type of gift or reward, or my God, to be able to pay something off and not worry about it. I don't need no purse. Give me a deed. Pay off a bill. I don't need hair. You know what I mean? Pay that credit card down. And let's cut it up. I don't know if it's cut it up, but let's pay it down. I'm gonna keep it. You know what? Since you guys are here, let's talk about that. Closing accounts. Does it hurt your credit or not hurt your credit?
Well, it does, because you want the long term, you want the history.
Okay.
So when you start closing, accounts, then now you're messing up your history, especially if you've had the card for a really long time. And sometimes it's temporary. It may not last forever where it affects your score, but you will probably see it like when you first close the account. But you also have to do what works for you, because sometimes, people need to close that account, because if not, so it's all personal, right? Like there's so many, okay, don't do this, don't do that. But we also need to look at the person as well as an individual and what works for them and what doesn't work for them. So yes, it can negatively affect your score, but you can also look at the big picture of, well, if I cut it up or close it, is it going to help me long term?
It will. And I think it will, in a sense of some of us are not disciplined enough, not just for regular stuff, but the moment a big emergency come up, you're going to go get it. Mm-hmm. You're going to go get it versus trying to figure out another way. So maybe cut it up, but don't close it.
Yeah, and also,
I guess I don't know if that helps either.
Hear more about the credit score or not being in debt, right? Because it's like Nashia said, you may, if your discipline is not there, if you're like, hey, listen, I paid this down, I'm great, but I know next week I'm going out with my girls, I may use this card, or if somebody who is like an alcoholic, you're not going to the bar, like not when you first stop drinking, you know what I mean? You need years of sobriety to be able to handle that. So you kind of, if you're that type of person, you got to know thyself. So if you're like, yeah, I'm probably not strong enough to not use this card, then you get rid of the card, but you don't have the debt. So your credit score will take a hit now, but there's things that you can do to, bring your credit. Now, I'm not a credit expert, so I'm not going to act like this is my space and my wheelhouse. I work with an awesome person that, because I've worked with him so many years, I've learned a lot from credit. But I really do look at it like, especially Dave Ramsey always talking about, when it comes to how he is about debt. But you just got to think like, would I rather be in debt or I care about this credit score? Because it's your credit profile too. It's not just your actual score that matters. You know what I mean? So if you're like, I'm probably going to spend on it again, then just get that thing closed on out. You want to apply for another one. That's the other part. Like,
you can apply for it later on when you ain't got no more debt whatsoever and you managed your money.
Yeah, and we get a bigger one. Yeah, you get some time under your belt. You're like, all right, I can handle this now and not lose my mind.
And that's a good point. Time under your belt. Sometimes it was a lot of things. I went through a credit repair program at one point, and it taught me things where I was thinking, where I can't do that, I can't do that, I can't do that. I did it when it was coming down to you whether you want to buy this house or not. I bet you I did it then. You know, so it goes back to the priorities. What is your priority? What is it that you value? What is it that you want? So get these multiple streams of income, y'all. Get these multiple streams of income so that you can protect you and your family. That goes along with the life insurance and the investments and budgeting. We got two ladies here that can help you do that. Would you both tell us how we can contact you in the future?
Yeah, so you can find me on primarily Facebook. That's where I live, even though I'm trying to venture off. But Facebook, yeah, by my first and last name, Nashaya Richardson. I'm also on LinkedIn and Instagram. But if you spell my name correctly, Nishaea, I'm the only one, so you'll know who I am. But that's where I live, and you know, just reach out to me, DM me, message me, however it's best way to contact me. That's where you can find me.
Okay.
So I am on Facebook and Instagram, Nykeia Neal, NYKEIA NEAL. You can find me. Those are my spaces. Facebook a little more, probably because of my age. I don't know. I know this looks 25, but you know, it's not. Yeah, so you know, still working on that website. I'm rebranding, you know, with Worthy of All Wealth. So that website is not live and active just yet. But if you go to those two platforms, you'll find me. You can inbox me. It is no judgment. If you have a question, you know, I don't know how my retirement works at my job. That's a lot of people, they don't know. Like I have a 401k. I'm like, okay, how is it allocated? Well, I have a 401k. Okay. How that money is working for you, like what are you actually invested in? All of those things matter, because I've met with several women when they're getting ready to retire, or you know, that usually at 55, I would say people start like 47 is like usually the age people really start looking at what they put away so far and what they have going on. And if you're in like stable funds or like very conservative funds, you weren't gaining much interest. So you don't have as much as you could have had if you had some guidance before that, because you just get paperwork and you just sign up for it, you set it and forget it, and you don't. So those are some of the things that I do help with as well. And I do run webinars and workshops. I'm excited about that, getting back to doing them on Zoom. So if you do go to Nykeia Neal on Facebook or Instagram, you'll see some information coming soon about those websites where you can come and learn without any sales pitches and any pressure, just making it simple, bite-sized information that you can use and you can take and leave with actionable steps afterwards. Is the goal.
Okay, good. I thank you, ladies, for taking out your time. I appreciate it. You guys are doing a good thing. People need to know.
Thank you.
People need to know. So don't stop telling your story. Don't stop offering your services. I don't care who say they don't want it. And just keep going. Keep at it. Keep at it. We'll win if we don't quit. So that's my advice to you. We will win. We're going to get there. We're going to be debt free. We're going to live the life we want because we've been building for it. Age to me, and that's the thing for me too. Age, I love age. And the older I get, the better I like myself. Like, oh my God. It's amazing. I love myself. Where it took years. Hence the book, The Best Version of Me. It took years. I didn't. I was trying to live and people please so much until somewhere around 40. And then it was like, whatever. It's whatever. Hey, I like me. I do. And it helped me from making a lot more mistakes, especially in relationship wise. I mean, I just got married, but before that, all that dating and ridiculousness, I realized I put up with because I didn't value myself. I didn't understand how well I like my own company. And now I prefer my company to foolishness. But to have extra added stress, I'm in such a peaceful zone. I don't allow people, places, or things to disrupt my peace. I don't care who you are.
And it's on that conversation right there.
Really. You can be my mama. Okay, Mom, I will talk to you later. Have a blessed day. because I'm not this aura is happiness, gratefulness, peacefulness, and I needed to stay that way.
Mm-hmm.
It took me too long to get here, way too long to get here.